Today we will discuss 5 lessons from the life of the Buddha. These are 5 gems of wisdom from the life of the enlightened one. First lesson is, death is inevitable. After Siddhartha attained enlightenment, he travelled extensively to propagate his teachings. During one of his travels, he came across a woman who had lost her child. When she learned that the Buddha was visiting her town, she pleaded him to bring her son back to life. He agreed to her request and asked her to bring some mustard from a house that hadn't seen death. As she visited every house in the town asking for mustard, she realized there was not a house that hadn't witnessed death. Death is inevitable and there is no escaping it. All one can do is make peace with it and pray for the departed. The second lesson is, patience is the key to being calm. An incident took place when Buddha was traveling with his disciples. They were passing by a lake when Buddha asked one of them to get him some water. The disciple walked to the lake and found a few women washing clothes. The disciple returned and told his master that the water was muddy and not fit to drink. After some time, the Buddha repeated his request. This time, the disciple saw the water was clear as all the dirt had settled down. He brought some water in a pot for his master. The Buddha looked at the clear water and said to his disciple that all he had to do was allow the mud to settle. When the mind is disturbed, it is like muddy water. In such moments, we need to just let it be. Slowly the negativity settles down and the mind becomes clearer and calmer. Third lesson was, anger destroys angry. Once the Buddha was walking through a village when a man started yelling at him. The man barked, "You have no right to teach others. You are stupid like the rest." The Buddha remained calm, unperturbed by the young man's accusations. However, the Buddha asked in return, if you buy a gift for someone and that person doesn't accept it, whom does the gift belong to? The man puzzled and replied, it would belong to me because I bought it. That is right. It is the same with anger. If you are angry, it doesn't impact me. It is you who is hurt in the process and not me, said the Buddha, smiling. The fourth lesson was, be practical in the real world. The Buddha always advised his disciples to not waste their time and energy on metaphysical matters. Whenever they asked him questions on metaphysics, he always remained silent. Instead, he asked him to focus on practical matters. One day, a disciple asked him about the infiniteness of the universe. Whether the universe is infinite or finite, the problem of liberation remains, the Buddha replied. Often, our focus tends to be directed at matters that may not have a solution to our woes. In the practical world, it is wise to focus on practical things, even if they do not help us liberate ourselves. The last lesson was, respect goodness in everyone. Bodhisattva, never disparaging, was a monk who lived a long time ago before Gautam Buddha. However, his preaching and predictions were disregarded by the common people since he was not well versed with the scriptures. They even beat him with sticks and pelted him with stones. Despite facing hardships and difficulties, the Bodhisattva revered everyone until the day he died. As a merit, before he breathed his last, he heard the verses of the Lotus Sutra from the sky, which are believed to have purified his 6 senses. This Bodhisattva was none other than the Buddha himself in one of his previous lives. No one is perfect. Everyone has a good and a bad side. But we should learn to overlook the imperfections and respect the good side of people. We should realize our inner potential to become a Buddha.